We're going to be touching upon mental health, fitness and well-being. Now this legacy is in honor of Dr. Farhang Mehr, a renowned scholar, author and educator. Is well known to generations of Iranians and Zoroastrians. Amongst his many accomplishments was his tenure as Chancellor and President of Pahlavi University, Shiraz, in Iran. During his presidency, the university became internationally known for its academic excellence and innovative policies that were later adopted by other developing countries. He served on the board of trustees of several universities and colleges in Iran. In recognition of his valuable services, Dr. Mehr was the first and only non-Muslim Iranian decorated with the first rank Humayun and Taj medallions from the Iranian government. Dr. Farhang Mehr, Emeritus Professor of International Relations at Boston University, was born in Tehran, in Iran. He received a Bachelor of Economics degree and a doctorate in law from the universities of Tehran and London, respectively. He has taught at Tehran National Universities and at military academies in Iran and was the president of the University of Shiraz for 8 years. Served under the Iranian under the Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi as Deputy Prime Minister and the Acting Finance Minister, and represented Iran on OPEC's Board of Governors for 5 years. He was also the chairman of the board and executive director of the largest insurance company in Iran, the Mehr. He holds the prestigious position of Director General of Oil and International Relations, as well as Director General of Economic Affairs and Monopolies. He served as the President of Tehran Zaltosti Anjuman for 12 years, was an officer of the First and Third World Zoroastrian Congresses in Tehran and Bombay, respectively. Also the founding member of the Ancient Iranian Culture Society. He has lectured and published on subjects related to law, political economy, and of course Zoroastrianism. Dr. Mehr has been very active in the Zoroastrian communities worldwide. He's also the founder of the World Zoroastrian Organization. After immigrating to the United States in 1981, Dr. Mehr taught international relations at Boston University. He retired in 1997 as Professor Emeritus. Professor Mehr has traveled extensively and given lectures in America, Canada, Europe, Australia, the Soviet Union and China. He has published 12 books in Persian and English on industrial law, social insurance, religion and international relations, including the Zoroastrian tradition and a colonial legacy, along with 80 articles in professional journals. In addition to his publications, he has given numerous television and radio interviews in several countries. Triumph Over Discrimination, the life story of Farhang Mehr, is the biography of an exceptional person whose fabulous legacy we revere and honor today. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our speakers today, she's from Mumbai, who's a track and field athlete, specializing in 400 meters. She's represented the state of Maharashtra for the last 14 years. Her current work profile is of athletics coach, sports massage therapist, yoga instructor, and model. She is also the founder and owner of the youth athletics clubs called the One Track Club. She trained under an Olympic coach by the name Gavin Fernandez in Australia from the year 2010 to 2013. After her return to India in 2014, her thinking and ideologies behind sports and Indian culture changed drastically. Hence, the topic that she will be covering at the Congress today will be a personal experience of hers regarding the sporting diversities, Indian modernization of sports, and how the 5,000-year-old tradition art form called yoga is different from the Western countries and interpretations. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most popular sessions on our last day today. We've got Ayesha Billimoria in the house. Please welcome her.
Happy New Year! So, did anyone know what happened on the 21st of June 2015? No? Close? Something that the Prime Minister of India started at a world stage. That's right. That's right. International Yoga Day. Nobody knows the reason behind why he started that, but it was quite a good initiative to get people out of their studios and do yoga in the open air. It's really good to see how many countries participated in that. So my first topic that I start with is on yoga. Now, a lot of people like to say yoga, but most people in India and a lot of yogis and teachers say yoga. So I'm going to stick to that because they say yoga, they say pranayam, they say asanas, but the A is always silent towards the end. So I want to give you all a little information on yoga, which is, well, a part of it is up here. It's a really nice quote by Sadhguru, who's a yogi from the south of India. He runs his foundation called Ayesha Foundation, and he teaches yoga over there. What are your first thoughts when you think of the word yoga? Is it the body? Is it the mind? Is it all in the hips? Or is it all in the chanting of a really loud Om? I haven't understood or followed a particular school, nor am I a certified instructor to preach this practice. But through my own practice over the last 12 years, I have come to realize that you can find that stillness, blissful action, mind control, and physical exercise which we all put together and call it yoga. I came to understand that stillness was not just about sitting cross-legged and closing your eyes. It was about finding that oneness in silent meditation, in meditation through movement, or meditating through active movements like martial arts. The meaning of yoga is a union of the mind, body, and spirit. It's not all about breathing deeply or feeling cosmic energies or wearing extremely expensive, tight, and stretchy clothes, nor is it about twisting your body or standing on your head or how long you can hold your breath. A lot of circus artists can do that. So what's the difference between them and yogis? When people utter the word yoga, they think that they have to be in some impossible posture. It's not about the postures. It is just a very tiny aspect of that big word. The word yoga means to join. But what are we really joining? Well, to put it in simple words, it means to join everything. You, the student, the practitioner, the practice, and the rest of the universe. It is about joining the mind and the body, then the mind, body, and the spirit, and then the mind, body, and the spirit with the energy of all things. In the Western sense of the word, there seems to be a massive misunderstanding of what yoga is all about, and perhaps it's not even a misunderstanding. It just happens so that there was no understanding in the first place. The idea of yoga in the West seems that somebody a long time ago, probably from India, came up with a bunch of neat ways to bend oneself while wearing tight, stretchy clothing and sitting on a glorified but rather overpriced rug. It is often the goal that is left out whilst practicing these postures. In order to look good, we have managed to leave out the most important part, and that is the practice of stretching out our minds. I guess we can say it's just not all in the hips. It's all about breathing right and keeping your mind and body in a certain balance through this practice. I love that emoticon, my favorite one from WhatsApp. The mind. It's a really good thing. Where is our mind? In a day and age where our minds are constantly occupied with cell phones and work pressures, how much of our mind is really at peace? Most of us try to fit in at least one training session or yoga class into our daily routine only because exercise is a must. But how much of this exercising is relaxing the mind? How much mental growth are you achieving from a 1-hour class of Pilates or CrossFit? Why is the physical aspect the most important aspect in our lives today? How many of y'all sitting here actually exercise for mental peace? And this is a question that I'm going to ask y'all after I finish talking. So like they say, yoga is all about mind, body, spirit. The body are the asanas. Pranayam is what we call breathing. Research has shown that a normal rate of breathing is 15 times a minute and 21,600 times in every 24 hours, although that varies from person to person depending on their lifestyle, their health, and their emotional state. We all breathe, but how many of us breathe correctly? We have bad postures, our chest is caved in, obesity, emotional disorders, lung problems, smoking, and uneven use of the respiratory muscles. Just as important as the postures are, so is the breath. Pran means breath, respiration, life, vitality, energy, and strength. Ayam means to stretch, to lengthen out, to restrain, and to control. Thus, pranayam means to lengthen and stretch out that breathing as you lengthen your body in the asana. It consists of long, subtle flows of inhalations, retention of that breath, and slow, gentle exhalation. With the development of technology, modern life, endless competition at work and society, it has resulted in increased strain on both men and women. In today's day, it has become difficult to maintain a balanced life. Anxiety, fear, restlessness, and excitement has doubled in our generation. My own practice of pranayam over the last 12 years has taught me how to control all of the above. It took me a few years to understand the meaning of breathing control, and it is still an ongoing process. However, control of breath is not just deep breathing and breathing exercises. It is far more than just the physical culture. Besides affecting the physical, physiological, and neural energies, it also affects the psychological and cerebral activities such as memory training and creativity. Pranayam has its effects, and I'm just going to list out 5 here. One of the most important effects is that it increases and improves blood circulation throughout the body. The lungs that are directly concerned with the disposal of carbon dioxide in the blood and preventing ammonia. Hence, the practice of pranayam keeps the lungs pure and increases the flow of fresh blood. The rhythmic use of the diaphragm and abdominal muscles in pranayam directly stimulates the movements of the intestines, whose functions are to absorb food materials and disposing of solid waste. Pranayam purifies the nadis. Nadis are, in India, nadis are like rivers. So we have the arteries, we have the veins. They say the nadis which protect the internal organs and cells that neutralize the lactic acid, which causes fatigue, so that the recovery is faster. The asanas bring elasticity to the fibers of the lungs, for which the performance is better. I started yoga when I was 18 years old. It's almost been 10, 12 years since I've been practicing, and I thought I started as a professional because I thought I could be running and I could really take this on, but over the years I realized that it was not important of how much I could do, it was important how much I could do in that little asana or posture that I was given. And in the last 5 years, I learned a lot about myself through pranayam, through the asanas, and I just wrote down something little which I thought that all of those who are doing yoga here and all of those who have not started and would like to start, this is just something really small for you all. Each yoga has a value, but one isn't necessarily better than the other. Of course, yoga is the progenitor of yoga, but it is the asana practice which has captured the attention of the world. Without yoga, millions of truly inflexible people would not be enjoying the therapeutic effects of the asana practice. Without the roaring popularity of yoga, many people benefiting from true yogic discipline would never have the chance to learn about it. From a girl who could not touch her toes or sit cross-legged at the age of 18, can now do a full split, a back bend, and a handstand. From being an angry, frustrated, and fearful athlete, she learned to calm down and make pranayam her regular practice, not because she had to, but because she really wanted to, for a more peaceful, happy, and aware future. Yoga teaches you acceptance of self, and it continues to teach me till date. this is what I do, this is where it starts. We all know of the sports that India plays that came about later on with the British, but there are quite a few sports that most people didn't know of. And would anyone know where Kung Fu came from? Sorry?
South India.
That's right. Where from? That's right. Yeah, so before independence, most of our sports were martial arts, but martial arts is what we call it today. Back then, they were the sports of India that came from various districts. The history of sports in India dates back to the Vedic era. Games like chess, which we call chaturanga, snakes and ladders, card games, all originated in India, and from there on, these games were transmitted to foreign countries where they were further modernized. In a vast population of 2 billion people, we mostly hear of the word cricket, now tennis, football, basketball, track and field. But how many of you all have heard of the martial arts kalari, gatka, or even kabaddi? Today, I want to introduce to you all my favorite martial art, which I have just started practicing 3 months ago. It's called Kalari Payattu. It comes from the southern tip of India, a state called Kerala. Kalari means a special kind of a gymnasium where the martial art Payattu is practiced. Kalari has its roots from yoga. It originated in the 4th century AD. And like yoga, it is a huge practice down south. They not only perform as a martial art technique, but it is also a regular practice regime for most locals. Most of their weapons, sticks and swords are used only for combat sessions and not in daily practice. The state of Kerala is famous for their oils because the art form is so physically aggressive, it encourages the practice of massage therapy by using a certain oil called gingli, which is very good for the nervous system. Gatka comes from North India. This is the Sikh tribe. They originated in Takshashila, which is present-day West Punjab and at the border of Pakistan. This art form emphasizes on having something in both their hands, which means having 2 sticks, a stick and a sword or a shield. This form is not only used as a self-defense technique or combat, but it is now also performed during celebrations and fairs for entertainment. Thangta is a very, very famous art form which is practiced in the east of India, coming from the district of Manipur. It traces back to the 17th century and it is very religiously practiced today. Thang means a sword and Ta means spear. The technique with which this is fought is called Sarat and Sarik. Mardani Khel comes from the state of Maharashtra. Mardani means manly and Khel means sport. It's called the manly sport and it traces its history to the Maratha warriors, which includes 14 ways to wield a sword, stick and other weapons, like all other good martial arts. Over the years, the martial art has also gotten very famous with women. Earlier, it was only meant for male to be a part of it, but now it is quite famous with the women folk too. Silambam is derived from the word silam bamboo, and hence the special weapons that are used are made from bamboo. This comes from the state of Tamil Nadu, which is also the south of India. Silambam is an art used for animal movements of eagles, snake and tigers. So to catch these animals, they go into movements that are very animal-like. Earlier it was used as a combat sport, but now more as a self-defense technique. Besides the Indians, I'd like people to tell me who this person is. Great, because we're not talking about cricket at all. On the left is my very, very dear friend, and I feel very proud to know this person. His name is Abhinav Bindra. He's current world champion and Olympic gold medalist in the 10-meter air rifle at the 2008 Olympic Games. He is the first Indian to win an Olympic gold medal in an individual event. He was the youngest Indian ever to be a part of the 2000 Sydney Olympics. Bindra is getting ready for his 5th Olympics in Rio in 2016. He is also an Arjuna awardee, and he is also the recipient of the Padma Bhushan Award, which is the 3rd highest civilian award in the Republic of India. On the right is Saina Nehwal, who is the current world #1 badminton player, the first Indian to win a bronze medal at the 2012 London Olympic Games. She is also an Arjuna awardee and a Padma Shri awardee, which is the 4th highest civilian award in India. Heard of Milkha Singh? Everyone heard of Milkha Singh? Yeah, there was a movie that came out on him recently. He's known as the Flying Sikh. He is the only Indian male athlete to win an individual athletics gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in 1958, up until now when Vikas Gowda took a gold medal at the 2014 Commonwealth Games in Scotland. Milkha's best race that was remembered was his 4th position at the 1960 Rome Olympic Games in the finals of the 400 meters, where he stood 4th with 1/100th of a second. He held the Indian national record for the 400 meters for 41 years, a record in India that nobody has held for these many years. After him came, you guys know who she is? Yeah, P.T. Usha is called the Payoli Express. She comes from the south of India. They gave her this name Payoli Express because one of the fastest trains down in Tamil Nadu is the Payoli Express. In 1984 LA Olympics, she stood 4th again by 1/100th of a second. She is remembered as the Asian Sprint Queen for her Seoul Games in 1986 with 4 gold medals and 1 silver. She is the only woman who has reached the finals of an Olympic track and field event. Do you know who she is? Yep. The boxer, that's right. 5-time world amateur boxing champion, the only woman who has represented India in the flyweight category at the 2012 London Olympics and won a bronze medal. She is currently ranked #1 in India. Deepika Kumari is very new on the circuit. She is former world #1 and currently ranked #5. She is a Commonwealth Games 2010 gold medalist and has qualified for the 2012 London Olympics. She is the youngest archery athlete who competed at the 2012 London Olympics from India. She is the golden girl of our country. In 1995, she became the first Indian lady to have made a world record with 113 kgs in the clean and jerk at the World Weightlifting Champions. Because of that achievement, she was the recipient of not just the Arjuna Award, but she is the first woman in India who won the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, which is the highest sporting honor in India. Pankaj Advani, known as the Prince of India, he is remembered for creating a hat-trick of hat-tricks in English billiards, holding the world, Asian and Indian national titles simultaneously for 3 years, 2012, 2008 and 2006. In October 2012, he won his 7th World Billiards Champion title at the WPBSA World Billiards Champs, also the recipient of the Arjuna Award and the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, and a Padma Shri in 2009. These are the girls I have been competing with and training for the last 10 years. Bib number 151 is Lalita Babar. She is the current Indian national record holder in the 10,000 meter steeplechase, and she is getting ready for her very first Olympics in Rio. Bib number 152 is Sudha Singh. She is a former national record holder in the 10,000 meter steeplechase and the first Indian track and field athlete to represent India at the 2012 London Olympics in the 10,000 meter steeplechase event. Both these girls are going to be competing at the Rio Olympics this year. Yay, our champion. You guys know him? Yeah. Even though tennis has not been an Olympic sport, this young man has represented and won medals for India at the Olympic Games from the year 1992 to 2012. He is the first Indian and only tennis player to have competed at 6 Olympic Games. He is also the winner of 8 doubles and 9 mixed double Grand Slam titles. He is the only tennis player in the world who has won the doubles and mixed doubles at a tournament, and that was at the Wimbledon in 1999. Does anyone know of a Parsi or Zoroastrian athlete who went for the Olympics? Sorry? No, not Rehan Pocha. Before Rehan Pocha was the swimmer. Way before Rehan Pocha at the 1980 Moscow Olympics. No? Yep, that's Adil Sumariwala. He is the first Zoroastrian to represent India at the 1980 Moscow Olympics. Unfortunately, the country refused to send him, so Ratan Tata paid for his trip and he sent him as an Indian representative for these Olympic Games. He retained his national title 11 times in India, and he is the only Olympian to be the president of the AFI from the year 2012 to present. The earlier presidents were all politicians. His biggest achievement today is to be elected as a council member at the International Association of Athletics Federation. That's it. Do you guys know who the guy with the bouquet is? That's right. Lord Sebastian Coe. He was world champion, Olympic champion in the 1500 meters for Great Britain. Is he?